Floating Sheep has released a heat map called The Geography of Hate. And what they wanted to do was illustrate where the most hateful tweets are coming from. And it's really an interesting map because of the fact that if you really look at it, you realize that you see racism, bigotry, just hate all over the country. It's not really in one specific area. To give you more information, the map allows you to sort for tweets that reflect homophobic, racist, or anti-disability attitudes. Within each category, you can also drill down another level to see, say, how many people are negatively tweeting the word spick, most of whom seem to live on the border between West Virginia and Kentucky.
I mean, it's so obvious that it's hard to believe. Look, I don't know how scientific and empirical this data is when it's just what people are doing on Twitter, but yeah, it seems pretty. There's something going on the East Coast. Look how happy the West Coast is. Pretty pleasant.
I'm not exactly sure how they came up with this data because there were some questionable things. Like, for instance, in California, it seems like no one's racist, which, believe me, there are some racist parts of California. There's no question about that. But you can look for specific things. For instance, if you want to see, which state uses the words wetback the most, it will reveal that for you, according to, how they compile their data. And Texas seems to be the state that uses wetback the most.
Yeah, what fascinates me about this is that, all these people that are on these social sites, especially Twitter, you can be anonymous on Twitter very easily, and that's where a lot of the hate comes from, or even on YouTube, you can be anonymous and you can write crazy things.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff is written by people that have real pictures and real profiles, and they still think they can put this stuff out and it's never going to come around and get them, or that they're not ever going to be held responsible. And I find that fascinating and bizarre.
It's insanity. Okay, so as someone who does a show very publicly, I mean, I get a lot of hate once in a while, and people will tweet the most horrendous things to you, and you'll have their first name, their last name. I mean, on Facebook sometimes it happens, and I'll click on their profile just because I'm curious, and you see their wife listed, you see their place of employment listed, and you're like, if I was a bad person, I could really, really retaliate.
Right.
But,
if you
but
were
of course,
nearly,
I don't care.
Exactly. If you wanted to take it to the level that they've taken it to, they've given you the roadmap to find them, and that's bonkers.
I know.
And yet, in a bizarre way, I respect them more than the person who does it anonymously. You know what I mean? You do it completely anonymously, it's like you don't even exist. I can't even think about that for a second. So someone who has the balls to be like, oh, I'm going to be a racist homophobe, and you're also going to know who I am.
Right.
Kind of refreshing about that.
I know. Well, there are, I love that you're talking about people who reveal their identity and write racist things, because there is a Twitter account known as Yes, You're Racist, where they put people on blast. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So we found a few of the tweets on there, and as I mentioned, they're just retweets of people saying racist things. One person writes, fuck you, Obama, lying about shit again, typical nigger. Classy.
Yeah.
Another person writes, I'm not racist, but I fucking hate Middle Eastern guys.
That actually is racist.
Yeah.
That's the definition of racist.
It continues, I'm not racist, but do Mexicans gotta bring their whole damn family everywhere they go? Jesus, answer the question. What do you think?
Yes, you do.
That is the official Mexican answer that will represent all Mexicans for all time.
Another tweeter by the name of Fap Exercise, sounds like a classy guy. Once a white woman has been with a black man, she's tainted. Very classy guy. And one other person writes, Obama's not going to legalize weed because he wants it all for himself, that nigger. So look, the reason why I think it's important to bring up this heat map that was created is because people are under the assumption that we live in a post-racial world, especially if you're living on the coasts, right? You live in a liberal bubble and you think maybe we've gotten past this. Some people like Dr. Laura will say, what, we elected a black president, get the chip off your shoulder.
Right, enough, we did it. Look at us, we're so great.
Right, and I think that this should open up a conversation about how we can improve. I don't think that it's a negative thing, I think it's a positive thing. And that's not pointing to all Americans and saying everyone's racist, but it's saying there's always more improvement to make.
Yeah. What do you think about the shaming of these people, like through
I
these
think it's
Twitter
great.
feeds? It's just great because it's just exposing it and it's throwing, and they put it out there. So.
You're on a public forum.
Exactly.
When you are on a public forum, you open yourself up to that kind of stuff. I am vulnerable to all types of insults, all types of criticism, because I put myself on a public forum. I expect it. And the same thing is true of social media.
I'm with you.
Definitely. So
So write all those mean things about us right below.
yeah, tell us how much you hate us.